So I'm trying to actually go YouTube live for the first time. Let's see how this works. So I'm not able to go live on TikTok because I don't have enough followers to go live. That's hilarious though. Strange. Let me see the microphone. The microphone is on. So this is my first time going live on YouTube, so I'm not entirely sure if that's what it is. Oh, you can hear me now? Oh, okay. Okay, so potentially, maybe something is kind of like wrong with the microphone and the connection. So greetings and wholeness. Welcome back into the healing space again. Last night we did have quite an amazing build, and I just want to keep to basically continue building upon that energy. All right, so I'm gonna be focusing on the comment section to see if I can answer a majority of the questions that are being asked. All right. Now, just keep in mind that once you're coming into the healing journey, for a lot of people, this is your first time now trying to adapt a whole different health standard from what you were actually used to. And understand that it is going to come with a little bit of resistance. You're going to have to somewhat fight. Okay. You're going to have to fight the old patterns, fight the old urges, fight your cravings for things that you used to truly really enjoy. Because remember, if you're in fact trying to cultivate a greater version of yourself, you're going to have to do things differently. And that is kind of like automatic. Okay, that is kind of like automatic. Okay, that is kind of like automatic. That is kind of like automatic. What herbs should we be taking lately? There's been a lot of cold and hold on. So the comments on YouTube moves pretty fast. Jeez. Okay. What herbs should we be taking lately? There's been a lot of cold and flu and sickness. Okay, so when it comes to cold and when it comes to flu, we're talking about elderberry. Okay, elderberry is going to be the one. We're talking about mullein. We're talking about wild cherry bark. We're talking about elderberry flower. We're talking about ginger root. Okay, these are the things that's going to help you to get rid of mucus and cold out of your respiratory tract and also strengthen your immunological system. Okay, for sure. All right. So the comment section on YouTube is pretty horrible because it just keeps vanishing. Okay, the comment section on YouTube keep vanishing. It's taking all these herbs for a long time. Good, because some herbs dry out or organs. So generally, whenever you take a herb for whatever condition you're experiencing, eventually you do take a break in that sense. Okay, whether that's gonna be okay, let's just say that you're doing a cleanse for 3 weeks or you're doing a cleanse for a month duration. After you've completed that cleanse for that duration, generally you would basically, go back to eating. Well, not just standard diet, but you'd actually go back to eating again the clean diet, right? And during that time, you can use complementary herbs because remember, some herbs dry you out, but there's other herbs that does not do that because they're more complementary to your body in terms of nurturing your cells and your organ and your essence. Example, sea moss. Okay, so sea moss is a water element herb. The thing is, when you consume a lot of fire element herb, it's gonna dry you out. You have to understand the elementals. So to say that some herbs dry you out, you're talking about the fire elemental herbs, of course. Just as if you have the heat on right around the clock and it gets too hot and you fall asleep, you don't drink enough water, you wake up feeling super dehydrated, don't you? Yeah. So fire element herbs are gonna dry you out when if you detox on them for a long time and you're not hydrating. It's all about hydration. You're not gonna be dried out if you're hydrated, but also realize that if you ever reach to a state where you feel like you're dehydrated, you can just utilize what? The water element. Sea moss is a water element, right? Bladderwrack is a water element, technically, right? Kelp, water element, nori, water element, dulse, water element, wakame, water element, rockweed, water element, watercress, water element. So it's all about understanding how to apply them and how to utilize them in that sense. Okay? So you have to understand the elementals of the herbs while you're utilizing them basically. Now, when it comes to removing parasites from the body, obviously fire element. Remember that parasites are somewhat through an occult lens seen as physical demons. Okay? Physical demon, because what does a demon actually does? It try to possess your body. It try to control your mind. Just like how parasites control your craving, control your mood, control your thoughts, right? That's what a parasite does. So parasites are seen through the occult lens as being a physical demon in that sense. So how do you actually vanquish or banish or destroy a demonic entity or sigil or a seal or an incantation of any form? We're talking about in the realms of the occult. You generally use fire. Just like they say, to get rid of an eidolon or to get rid of a haunted house or something of that sort, it's best to burn it down. Okay, best to burn it down. Basically, that's how you get rid of it, because certain spaces are like demonic stronghold. You going up in there with your sage or whatever not, like you're gonna be fighting them shits. They're gonna keep coming back. But if you burn it down, everything is gone. Now notice when it comes to the herbs that eliminate parasites, these are fire elemental herbs. So you're gonna learn something very interesting here tonight. Now, take for instance clove. We know that clove is an anti-parasitic herb, but clove is a fire element. That's why clove is so spicy and it burns you. It's a fire element, right? We know that cayenne pepper destroys parasite eggs and parasite stages and larvae upon contact. Cayenne pepper is a fire element. You see how that works? Wormwood, that is a fire element herb. Black walnut, that is a fire element herb, right? Cinnamon, fire element, spicy, right? Fire element herb. What else? What else we can look at as an example as a other fire element? Ginger. See how ginger is strong and it burns? Ginger is a fire element herb as well. Okay, so you can see how the elementals correspond to the very same thing, whether physically or whether etherically in that sense, or metaphysically. But go ahead, you guys can ask a question. I'm not gonna be live for a very, very long time. Okay, I do need to get me some sleep, but I just wanted to tap in real quick because we've been working. I do want to tap in real quick with y'all to answer a few of your questions. So tonight is not gonna be one of them long, long, long lives. All right. Yes, clove is a fire element. So clove is very spicy, and clove burns. If you use a lot of clove, it really burns you, right? Oregano is also a fire element herb as well. You see? Yes. What can you take for constipation? So for constipation, you can utilize yellow dragon fruits. Yellow dragon fruits for constipation. Prune juice for constipation. Tamarind juice for constipation. Slipper elm bark for constipation. Even psyllium husk. Psyllium husk kind of like introduce a lot of fiber into your stool, which creates like bulk, which initiate the peristalsis, which eventually helps to cleanse out and send you to the bathroom. In terms of herbs, we're talking about cascara sagrada. We're talking about rhubarb root. Okay. Also, senna pods do send it to the bathroom as a laxative as well. So yeah, generally we have a large variety of different laxatives that will send you to the bathroom. But what I will tell you is that yellow dragon fruit, that prune juice, okay, and that tamarind is gonna send you to the bathroom. As a matter of fact, I do have the tamarind that we made here last night. Also, castor oil. Okay, if you get cold pressed castor oil, right? Put cold pressed castor oil. You do like a 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of cold pressed castor oil. Listen, you're gonna be bathroom bound. Nothing cleans you out more aggressive than some cold pressed castor oil. Okay, and I think I should have some cold pressed castor oil in here so I can show you what that looks like. Okay, here we go. Okay. For instance, this is Corpus castor oil from Jamaica. Okay. Notice it says pure cold press castor oil. And because remember, it is a difference from the black castor oil. So let me kind of show you the difference between the cold castor oil and the black. So notice this one says pure Jamaican black castor oil. So what is the difference? Then you have the cold press castor oil. Now, if you look in the container, you can clearly tell the color difference, that one is more clear and one is more darker. Okay? So the black castor oil, you're going to utilize that for your skin and for your hair. The difference is that in order to get black castor oil, we're gonna roast the castor oil nuts. You roast them, then you extract the oil from it, and you end up getting black castor oil. Black castor oil is for your skin and your hair. Okay? But when it comes to internal use, for internal use, to send you to the bathroom, to relieve constipation, it's also anti-parasitic as well. You want to use the cold press castor oil. Freshly cold pressed, strictly. Nothing else added to it, nothing else done to it, no other processes. Do you understand? Yeah, this stuff is no joke. Okay, this stuff is no joke. Like, you drink 1 tablespoon of this right now, and within the next 4 to 5 hours, you're bathroom bound to the point where you're getting annoyed because you use the bathroom, and it's like the next couple of minutes you got to use the bathroom again. Next couple of minutes, it can be very annoying because it keeps sending you to the bathroom over and over again consecutively. That's the only thing about it. Okay, but very, very good. After the whole contraction and bowel movement, then you're gonna feel great. You feel cleaned out, like literally. It's amazing stuff. Very, very amazing stuff. YouTube. So okay, so this is our first time actually going YouTube live. So for everybody within the YouTube space, I know that you're probably asking a lot of questions in the comment section, but it's kind of weird because the comments they're not staying visible on the screen. I have to keep touching the screen for the comment to be revealed, and then the comments vanish again. It's annoying because I'm not gonna be up there on the screen every time touching the screen to see the comments. So I do want to answer your questions, but this is kind of annoying. Okay, so somebody's asking about the big C. Can it be? Okay, remember, I can't really use the word cure. I can't really use that word anymore. Obviously, especially I'm on YouTube. And you already know that these folks already deleted my TikTok and banned my Facebook account for basically giving you solutions to these things. So I'm gonna have to kind of like skip over that question. But when it comes to the big C, understand that you're dealing with parasites. Okay, Bacillus X, or they call it the BX parasite. What you need to focus on is what? Your lymphatic system. You need to get your lymph moving. Clean out your bowels. I'll put you on a colon cleanse, a parasite cleanse, a lymphatic cleanse. I'll clean your blood, and I'll clean your liver, and I'll clean your kidney, and I'll put you on a juice fast. That's what I'll put you on. 40 days juice fast. You're not allowed to eat nothing. Okay, nothing at all. While I cleanse out your bowels, remove the parasites out of your body, and cleanse your blood and your kidney. That is how you heal from that. That's just about how you heal from anything, really. It doesn't matter what it is. Remember, the only cause of diseases are what? Obstruction, pollution, heavy metals, parasites. Or you can just say foreign agents, because foreign agents is gonna be like what? The food coloring that you've been eating in your ice cream, right? The food coloring that you've been eating in your ice cream, the artificial flavor, the artificial color, obviously the red 40, those are foreign agents, the preservatives, the carcinogens. These are pollutants, foreign agents and pollutants that have gotten their way inside of the body, which obviously it was not meant to be inside of the temple. The only reason why you're alive up on this point is just because your body has been fighting back, because your body is able to adapt very well. That's one thing about the human body. It's very good at adapting. Okay, its level of adaptability is just insane. Okay, have you ever went to the pool, right? Or you went by the beach and you're in the water for a long time and you start noticing how your fingers start to basically shrivel up? And that's your body adapting to the water element to give you grip underwater. So do you see how intelligent the system is? So yes, even though you've been eating certain things that are highly detrimental to your system, the only reason why you didn't die is because your body is in there making all different changes, trying to adapt to the condition, because you see, the body is very loyal. Have you thought about it, how loyal And you know, your body is the fact that it's been doing everything to keep you alive. And it kind of branches back over into the conversation that we were having last night when we start to look through the esoteric lens and some of the information that's been there, where ancient civilization or ancestors, right? They says that each part of your body is seen as its own entity. And I was like, wow, I've never thought about it like that. But they were saying like even your arms, okay, these are like different entities, like they have their own level of intelligence and awareness. Even though you're moving them in your left hand or right hand, you somewhat don't really realize that these are actually different geometry. Like these are different geometries wired up different. And according to occult wisdom, ancient knowledge, ancestral wisdom, they look at each part of the body as its own entity. Okay? Even your legs are their own entity. And so what they're saying is all these different entities came together to work in unison to formulate the human body. Okay? And they're saying that even the feet are the soul. Like they're saying that the feet are the soul. That's where most of your soul concentrate, in your feet. I was like, wow, this is some interesting stuff, right? And they're saying that's the reason why even they have inside of your shoes what they call the soul in your shoes. And that's why they basically keep people ungrounded. So the whole design of shoes, as you can tell, people are so crazy about shoes these days, whether Jordan shoes, whether Chanel boots or whatever it is, high heel shoes. Like people's crazy about shoes these days. And the average person actually think that it's unsanitary to walk outside and touch the dirt. Like in America, I know most people that see you walking outside on the dirt and think that, hey, that's dirty. What are you doing? You know, that's how ungrounded people are, not realizing that you are supposed to connect to the earth. Okay, it's the same earth that gives you food to eat and everything else. So it's just kind of crazy how everything is more like, twisted in our everyday reality. But if you start to go through ancient wisdom, through the ancient lens, you start to see a whole nother body of knowledge surrounding certain things. And it's very, very interesting. So what I'm saying is, if each one of your body part is its own entity, we can also recognize that the body is very intelligent and it somewhat has a mind of its own, in a sense where it has its own level of sentience. And I was also touching on last night the fact that you've gotten cut multiple times in your life. You don't really have to tell your body what to do, it knows how to heal itself. You see? So even when it comes to the fasting, it's still you honoring that principle or that awareness that, hey, my body knows exactly what it's doing. So all I need to do is to nurture it and give the body exactly what it needs so that it can actually do its job, because it knows best what to do. See what I'm going? Yeah. So what's the best for brain fog and dizziness? Rosemary is one of the best herb when it comes to, sending energy to the brain, giving you clarity, improving your cognitive function, your memory, and your awareness abilities. I'll also recommend for you to utilize some gotu kola. Gotu kola sends a lot of oxygen to the brain. Blue vervain actually oxygenate the central nervous system. Right? I mean, we can go on and on, but those herbs are pretty much what you need right now. Eventually, you can get into the valerian root, and and the ginkgo and the other herbs. But as for what you need right now in terms of to boost the brain, those are actually what you need. Okay? Yes. Okay, someone over on YouTube is asking about HSV. Okay, I can't use that word. Okay, let me see what's going on, because I really don't like the fact that the comment section is just not up. That's very annoying. Mm, okay, let me see if this works. Hopefully it stays. Okay, damn, that's crazy. So the comments are not staying up on YouTube. Every time the chat keep vanishing, vanishing. Okay, chat viewing options. Some chat messages such as potential spam may not be visible. All message or live chat. Okay, all chat. Boom. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by or blah 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 YouTube. Okay. Wow, it's really not staying. It's really not staying. That's annoying. All right. So yeah, the YouTube space is not gonna work out because the chat comment section keeps vanishing. It's not gonna stay. All right. Mm-hmm. Organic raspberry leaf for the what? I'm not entirely sure. I got tamarind to make the juice. Do you suggest fasting while drinking it? If so, for how long? So I mean, you can fast and drink it if you want to, or you don't have to fast. It doesn't really matter. And remember, tamarind is something that you can technically drink for how long as you want. Remember, in the Caribbean, tamarind is something that we eat like just as a regular fruit. So like asking how long should you drink it for is like it's not drugs. Okay, it's not drugs. It's food. Just got diagnosed with pericarditis. What can I do to remove the inflammation of the heart? So when it comes to inflammation of the heart, we're looking at hawthorn berries for sure. Flor de manita. We have flor de manita, hawthorn berries, cayenne pepper. Listen, hawthorn berries and cayenne pepper is going to be your friend. In fact, 2 years ago, I had gotten a call for a young lady that her baby had like a swollen heart, right? And the doctors was there drugging the baby out with all sort of different drugs. It got to the point where she was on life support and all of that, and yeah, and they were still drugging her, just not working. And I got that baby out of ICU using what? Hawthorn berries, okay? Shrink the heart back to normal, remove the infection. I open up her lymphatic system with some lymphatic cleanse. You see? There was something about infection in the lungs. I used the respiratory cleanse with the elderberry, with the elderberry flowers, linden leaf. Got it under control. So when it comes to the heart, hawthorn berry is going to be your friend. Now keep in mind that the cayenne pepper is going to be the number one blood circulator stimulant. So cayenne pepper, great for the heart, great for the arteries, great for the blood vessels, right? And increasing your circulation and strengthening the valve of the heart. That's how powerful cayenne pepper is. Okay, so cayenne pepper is going to be the one. All right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so HSV, HPV, these are something that we heal people from. It's not that okay, so it's not that much of a big of a deal, but it does require you to fast. So far, everybody that I put on a protocol that basically reverse their HSV, it's through the fasting. It's through a long period of fasting as well. HPV, I already healed a young lady from that. I put her on 40 days, on a 40 days juice fast with the colon cleanse, with the lymph cleanse, with the parasite cleanse, with the blood cleanse. And after 40 days, she was brand new. When it comes to the HSV2, most of the people, it's at least a year and 2 months, a year and 4 months. During that time, in my experience, okay? So if you're willing to go through the process, just know that you're gonna have to actually come to that agreement with yourself and say, all right, I'm gonna dedicate a year of my life and get on my journey and go through the cleanses, do the proper fasting, eat clean, okay, and allow the body to basically heal itself. A lot of people, you want to drink the herbs for 1 week, then you want to go back into the club to go drink Hennessy, and party with your friends. And it doesn't work that way. Okay, you're gonna have to dedicate at least 6 months to a year to your healing journey. And during that time, it's you engaging in the complete nurturing process which is needed for your body to heal. Okay? Yes. I need a blunt lymph and colon cleanse. So click, you can just click the link in the bio, go to the website, and you can get what you need. Everything is actually there. All right, everything is there. Okay, someone says I got 1,000 to my name. Is that enough to heal and cleanse my blood? Of course, that's more than enough. Okay, you can get just about all the cleanses and still have money left. Like you can literally get parasite cleanse, colon cleanse, lymphatic cleanse, blood cleanse, parasite cleanse, and still have a lot of money left. So yeah, of course, that can get you everything you need. Okay? Buy a juicer. Also buy a juicer. You can buy a juicer out of that. Buy a juicer, go to the supermarket, pick up some greens, start drinking chlorophyll juice daily, and then get your cleanses. And once you get your cleanses, you keep drinking that chlorophyll juice. While you're under cleanses, you don't eat nothing else. Just juice fast, do the cleanse, do the rebounder, get into the sauna, okay, and just watch all sort of stuff come out of your body. You're gonna be so surprised. A lot of people are so shocked because you know what? They thought that everything they ate into the past have been gone. Like, oh, I guess people kind of think that whenever they eat certain kind of foods, it just go inside of their body and then they poop it all the way back out. And obviously, yes, that's how your body is designed to somewhat get rid of the undigested matter or the waste that the body does not need after extracting whatever nutrients or value out of that food, and the rest get terminated, right? But what you're not looking at is the additives that's actually inside of the food, which gets stored or lodged into soft tissue, or what gets become like stick to the walls of your intestines, kind of like residue that stick on the side of things, and it stays there and it builds up inside of the body over time for years. You see, so the moment you engage in a proper deep cleansing, you start to find that there's a lot of stuff coming out of you that you've never seen before. Okay, that you had no idea that was even inside of you the whole time. See, so a lot of people, they go through that realization when they start to enter into the cleanse, when you're in that toilet and days, weeks after not eating, you're still having full bowel movement, wondering, yo, where's all this stuff coming from? You see, it's what you've been carrying around with you all these years. The accumulation of waste matter built up into your organs, built up into your cells, built up into your tissues because you've been eating the food that was manufactured by man in a laboratory and not what God made for you to consume. You've been violating the cosmic arrangement. There's going to be consequences for that. Take a look in the hospital. You notice how the hospital is loaded with people? You notice how the emergency room is always packed with people coming in and out? You notice the ambulance is always screaming, making a sound? You notice most 90% of people is drugged out taking some kind of prescription or drugs? How is this happening to everybody? Is this normal? It's not normal, because if you look out into nature, you don't see animals getting sickness and disease from eating the food that they eat, because the animals are eating according to the cosmic arrangement of God. Human beings claim to be intelligent, but they're not so smart at all. They're brainwashed and conditioned. They eat things that are killing them, things that have no enzyme, things that have no fiber, things that have no life force. So they're on the path of slow motion suicide because they consume foods that are basically deteriorating their health and creating a very decay condition inside of their organs. Okay? So the moment you begin to change and you stop doing what you see everybody else doing, because remember, you're only eating this diet because it's been introduced to you as normal. They tell you, hey, this is what you're supposed to eat. This is going to give you protein. You need protein. The protein is a building block of life. You need this. Eat steak for vitamin B12. Drink milk to strengthen your bones. They tell you all of this shit and you believed it. You see? So you're living your reality based off beliefs, inherited beliefs. Yet, through your own observation and through your own awareness, you don't see anybody that's healthy from eating the very same things that you're eating, But you're not intelligent enough to see that though. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're blind to the things that you're supposed to notice. You're very blind to it. And that's how brainwashing and conditioning works. Because again, if you know, the brainwashing doesn't work if the victim knows that they're brainwashed. The whole idea is that the victim will have no idea. They will play out and live a reality not realizing that there's a controller behind the scenes that are orchestrating their behavior, their thoughts, and and what they think they know about themselves or their sense of self. You see? So you have to stop doing what you see everybody else is doing. Somewhat you have to cultivate your own path moving forward. You cultivate your own path. Instead of eating what everybody else eats, how about you eat things that is in alignment with you? How about that? Because that's you basically honoring your higher self. When you eat things that are in alignment with your organs, with your cells, with your body, that are putting life into you, you see, that's you nurturing yourself. That's you elevating yourself. That's an expression of self love. But consuming things that's killing you just because that's what everybody else eats, that's not derived from no self love. Okay, that's self sabotage, slow motion suicide, right? And if you look at most people, don't you notice how they aged up? The average person is at least 15 years ahead of what they should actually look like. They age fast. You're not supposed to be aging that fast. Take a look at the average person and look how they look. They're 15 years older than what they're supposed to look like. Okay, you're supposed to look very young and vibrant. You get what I'm saying? Energetic. Your skin's supposed to have a natural glow to it. Literally. But you eat foods that have no enzymes. And so this forces your body to make its own enzymes, which stresses out your body and cause you to age. Okay? And what I want you to think about, the main fact that we're even here talking about, the benefit of eating natural fruits and vegetables and cleaning out your temple. Listen, the main fact that we're even here talking about this shit, it goes to show how low humanity and their consciousness have spiraled downwards. Think about that. The fact that we have to be on here all the time, just trying to break down everything so that people can see that, hey, you should go back in alignment with your source. The fact that we got to be doing this speaks volume of how humanity and their intelligence and their consciousness have spiraled downward. Because remember, everybody believe that, oh, you need to eat meat for protein. But when you say to them, hey, look, protein comes from plants. Plants are the original source of protein. That's where the animal gets it from. You're killing the animal, you're getting a second grade of the protein. But that's not even the point. The point is that the fact that people look at what God made for them as it's not enough. So what you're saying, okay, what you're saying is that God made a mistake. Okay, let's just look through things through a religious lens then. Okay, I don't really like to go into the whole religious realm because a lot of people, they're very emotional, they're very deeply embedded into religion, and the moment you start to ask certain questions or bring certain awareness to the table, okay, they want to get mad, they want to get upset because they're just super religious and they have no common sense, and most of the time they have no connection with even God that they claim to worship. So I try not to really venture that much into the religious realm because I still want you to stay here so you can get the knowledge you need to unveil that greater version of yourself. So I try not to get into deep into certain topics that I know people, just go crazy about like a maniac, right? But what I'm saying is, if we even look at food through the biblical, or look at food through the religious lens, we see that you're not even in alignment with the very religion that you claim to practice or worship. You get what I'm saying? Because you eating foods that God didn't tell you to eat is you committing a sin, right? Let's just get religious about it if you want to. Because the last time I checked, doesn't the Bible says that I give you seed and fruits for food? Y'all don't eat that. You don't eat that. You kill it. Listen, you kill and you take something else's life. And it's not to say that that's like really bad or anything, because technically, the reality has like a predatory aspect to it, where it's like most things have to kill something else just to eat. It's kind of like life is designed like that. So I'm not trying to say, it's because you're killing the animals, blah blah, why it's bad. Okay, but what I'm saying is energy, frequency, and vibration. What happens when you keep putting death? You keep putting the energy of death or something on a frequency of death into the body. And the Bible tells you that the body is the temple of God. You see, you're in complete violation in that sense. You're putting the energy of death inside of your temple. That's why you're going to die slowly. You see what I'm saying? Also, nobody really consider about the fact that you guys don't even eat animal that you're getting from the wild. Okay, you're eating farmers' animals. Growth hormone, steroids, antibiotics, causing you to age again. All the chemicals they put into the animal for it to grow fast and produce, you're consuming all of that. People are not even thinking about that. Okay? But what I'm saying is, to say that in order for you to get protein, you have to kill an animal to get it, it's kind of like you saying that God made a mistake in the whole architectural blueprint of the design, and God didn't put enough nutrients in the fruit, so you don't want that. You have to go kill an animal to get protein, and therefore you have to be eating bloody steak just to be healthy. How does that sound? How does that sound? You see what I'm saying? And I totally recall the Bible saying the herbs are the healing of the nation. So if the herbs are the healing of the nation, then how is it that you're popping pills? How is that you're on medication and prescription? I'm just saying. And you said that you are, you're religious, and you say that that's your religion. So that's what I'm saying. I need answers. I need explanation. If you're so religious and you practice that religion and you hold up the commandments of God like you claim, how are you taking drugs when clearly your own religion says the herbs are the healing of the nation? You see what I'm saying? It's not making sense because you're delusional. The same commandment says, I give you seeds and fruits for food, and you don't eat that. You eat the very animals, the very pigs and swine that God casts the demons into. And you eat it in the morning as bacon and cheese. You see, bacon, egg, and cheese, bacon and this, bacon and that. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm not trying to condemn you for what you do. Obviously, you have your own power of free will. I'm only asking questions. I'm only asking you to be consistent, with what you claim to practice, because it's very much lacking. So as you can tell, majority of humanity, they're completely lost, very completely lost. Okay, nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Well, I guess I forgot I'm on YouTube live. Let me not. Okay, so for anybody who's coming through on the YouTube space, okay, this is my first time coming YouTube live, and the issue that I'm having is this: the comment section is not staying up. Okay, I'm actually using a tablet, and the comment section keep vanishing. So you might be asking questions, and I'm not able to see what you're asking to even answer your questions. So I'm gonna have to figure out another way how to come YouTube live, probably on a MacBook Pro or through some other means. But the comment section does not stay on the screen. Say for instance, like how would be on IG Live or Facebook Live or TikTok Live, the comment section does not stay on the screen. I was trying to see if there was an option to allow it to stay, and I try every option and it just vanishes. So I guess the only way how I can interact with the comments on YouTube is to keep tapping the screen, and yeah, that's gonna break my whole concentration. So I trust and hope whoever's on the YouTube space that you can still somewhat find the information that you may need, you know, just by me answering the questions to IG. All right. Mm-hmm. Yes, if God did not make it, do not take it. Okay? If God did not make it, you do not take it. Okay? Because notice when you look into the animal kingdom, you don't see no animal at all in the animal kingdom getting sick from what they eat. Have you ever seen a lion getting high cholesterol? Right? But you have high cholesterol and you're taking high cholesterol drugs. Because what? The animal fat that you ate clog up your arteries and your blood cannot flow, manifesting into cardiovascular disease because clearly it was not meant for you. Your hydrochloric acid in your stomach is not hot enough. You see, a lion or a carnivore hydrochloric acid is around 2 to 3 times hotter than yours because they're designed to eat raw meat. You're not designed to eat that. Of course, we get very creative and we can cook it and we can bring it down to a certain state where obviously, we can digest it to a certain extent, not fully, but where you can extract some kind of benefit from it in a sense, but it wasn't really meant for you really, because generally anything that's meant for you, you should be able to just eat it the way it is. Think about it. Everything else in existence or nature eat their food the way how it is. And when it comes to fruits and vegetables, notice how you can just eat it the way it is? See? But when it comes to eating animals, you have to cook it, right? You got to cook it. Also, you can't eat it the way it is because you can't stomach it in that sense. You got to put seasoning on it for it to taste good. So in reality, you're altering something and you're putting herbs on it to make it taste good so that you can palate it. You see what I'm saying? Which means that you're just through your actions, you're admitting that hey, herbs or what herbs and which are because herbs are vegetables, they're vegetation, right? So you're just saying that hey, vegetables is what attuned to my taste buds. So you're still admitting it in the very same action of you having to season the meat just for it to taste good. I've never seen a lion season his meat. Or any carnivore in nature. They just eat it the way it is. Because what? It tastes good to them because they're designed. You're not designed for it. That's why you have to alter it. You have to use the water element, the fire element to roast it, bake it, boil it, fry it, put herbs on it for it to taste good. You see what I'm saying? So you're still lying to yourself. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. You're still lying to yourself. Okay, and I'm not trying to say that hey, if you eat some of this stuff, it's bad or it's gonna kill you or none of that. Because obviously, if you get into certain predicaments or circumstances, and you eat some animal flesh, it's not a big deal. But the problem comes in when you're eating it every day in your everyday life. Notice how people eat that stuff every single day as if it's normal. That's the problem. That's why y'all got so much disease. You're eating this stuff every single day, and most of y'all, you're eating the very same three dead animals in different ways. You're not supposed to be eating this stuff every day of your life. If you don't eat chicken today, you're going to be eating pork. If it's not pork, you're eating cow. If it's not cow, you're eating goats. Okay? I even have family members who eat alligators. You know, and like people tend to get very creative after they've gotten tired of eating the same couple of dead animals. They start to venture out into trying different things. I remember sharing with you guys that I was so traumatized because I went on YouTube. I was on YouTube right a couple months ago, and I'm just scrolling through YouTube. I'm scrolling through, and then I came across a video of a lady making raccoon sauce. So, I thought that it was like a joke or something. I thought it was a joke, okay? Because I'm like, what? So I clicked on the video because, I thought she was just joking or, making a little funny video or something like that. Come to find out, this lady is from, how do you pronounce this state? Louisiana. Okay, Louisiana. Okay, and then I end up finding out that people okay, well, hold on, let me try to pronounce it. People in Louisiana, they be eating everything. Okay, I mean, like some of the women down there, they look so good, but like damn, like you look so good on the internet, but that's what you're down there eating. You're down there eating raccoons. You're eating possums. You know what I'm saying? You're eating alligators. You're eating frog legs. Like, this is some crazy stuff. So I clicked on the lady video. You know, the lady catch the raccoon. Okay, she set traps. She catch the raccoon, and she's there cutting up this raccoon like nothing at all. Like not like it's normal for her. Like this is her daily dish. This is not weird or this is not strange at all. And I'm there watching because it's like I can't believe. I've never heard of this a day in my life. I didn't even know that this was a thing where people even eat raccoons like chicken, like literally. And the lady literally killed the poor raccoon. Okay, I mean, you can see in the raccoon eyes, you can see the sadness in his eyes. He didn't even know what was happening. You know, the lady killed the raccoon. She skinned the raccoon and she turned the raccoon into sauce. Listen, y'all people down in Louisiana, y'all are lethal. Y'all are vicious. Then on the next episode, because now I'm like watching. Now I'm watching because I'm like, what is this? Right? Because I'm like, damn, there's more. So then, I go on her channel, I click on another video. I saw her on a boat going through the swamp. Okay? And she's setting traps and catching frogs, bullfrogs. This lady catches around 2 or 3 dozen frogs out of the swamp and went home and skinned these frogs and went straight into her kitchen to make fried frog legs. I was traumatized. I've never heard, like I can't even explain it. The whole time I'm wondering, like, what make you guys go so far? I don't understand. What would make you go so far? Listen. I can understand the chicken. I can understand the turkey. Okay, I can understand that. I can understand the chicken, the turkey. I do feel like going to the pigs is kind of like going too far because God cast the demons into the swine. But you know, y'all went to the pig. You killed the pig. You ate up that pig, and even though even though I find it crazy, it's like I still gotta accept it because I mean that's what y'all do. I just came here the other day, right? I was just born the other day. I came here and I saw y'all doing this shit. So this has become you guys' tradition. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I saw y'all do it to the goats, right? You do it to the cows. You steal the cow's milk too on top of it. But I mean, I thought that hey, y'all was gonna just stop right there. I thought that was gonna be it. What possesses a person to look at a raccoon and be like, yeah, this is gonna be good for dinner today? I'm trying to understand the thought process. I'm trying to understand like the motivation. And okay, all right, you basically gobbled up the raccoon. Then you went over to the squirrel. You went over to the frogs. You went over to the alligator. You went over to the possum. What is going on? I mean, y'all are trying to eat everything, like every animal. This is very strange. Very, very strange. So listen, I know some of y'all women like yeah, like you look so good, and that's the thing. The women in Louisiana, like they be looking good. I be liking the little accent too. Like the accent be nice, like the accent, but I just can't look at you the same. Like knowing what you do behind closed doors. Okay, it's like you look good and whatever, but knowing what you be doing behind closed doors, it's like yeah, I can't really look past that, love. I'm sorry. Like that's crazy that you're down there killing all those animals and eating them up, then come on Instagram, posting pictures and all that kind of stuff, trying to be a baddie. Like, listen, I know what you do. Okay, I know what you do. You've committed horrendous crimes against the universe. But anyway, what I'm trying to show you though, if you notice that animals do not get sick from eating what they eat, but when you eat it, you get sick. It's not for you. Okay? It's not for you. It's only going to result in you having a disease. We have to move away from that. We have to move away from that. Now, remember, as I said before, when it comes to arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, the big C, every manifestation of what people are experiencing today as a disease, do you realize that we can actually move over into a lifestyle where these things no longer exist? Think about it. Think about if you stop eating your processed sugar. Think about if you stop eating dairy products. Think about if you stop eating dead animals. You stop eating processed food. How can you have a disease? It's not possible. If you stop eating the things that manufacturers or contribute to the disease, it's not possible for you to have a disease. Stop drinking fluoride water. Okay? Stop drinking processed sugar. Stop drinking sodas. Stop eating fast food, biscuits, snacks. Stop eating all of that. Leave the animals alone. Don't eat them. And go back to eating the natural food of what God actually intended. It is not possible for you to have a disease. You're going to live a wholesome, healthy life full of vitality and energy. Your mind is going to work completely different. You see what I'm saying? Your creativity is going to take a boost. Your senses work so much more sharper. Your memory increase. Your cognitive function work on a more heightened level. Even your awareness abilities tends to expand. Your consciousness expand. Okay? Once you start getting back in alignment with the things that nurture and support you, you find that your consciousness actually starts to expand as well. Okay, so yeah, we definitely got work to do. We definitely got work to do. What's preventing a lot of people from really stepping into that greater version of themselves is truly really the attachments that they've developed with the things that they enjoy so much. And I understand, as I said, I understand for a lot of us, obviously, you've been eating these kind of a food since you were a toddler, since you were a little baby. They've been giving it to you, so you can see how you develop this attachment to it. Some people even they're emotional eaters. When they get sad or depressed, they tend to eat just to feel better. You get what I'm saying? So you can see how they develop this strong attachment to certain things that they really enjoy. So imagine now you're going into a phase where you can no longer have any of these things again, like they're being removed from your reality. Some people are just holding on to that tightly. Can't let this go. I need this. I remember a couple of years ago, a few people that was commenting on the video that they need help. And once I talked to them, and I'm like, listen, all right, I hear you what you're experiencing, but we're gonna have to fast, and you're gonna have to stop eating this. And they deliberately tell me that, hey, I cannot give up meat. They told me that straight up, like, listen, man, I need meat. I cannot give up meat. Okay? They said that they love it so much they just can't give it up no matter what. So I'm like, all right. Because at the end of the day, remember, you have your own power of free will. If you're choosing to die over some dead flesh, then, I mean, that's your choice. Okay? That's your choice. If you don't love yourself enough and you don't prioritize your health and your well being, I mean, what am I going to do? Okay? What am I going to do about that? I can only try to help you and give you the information that you need so that you can cultivate a healthy mind, body, and spirit. But if you're not, if you feel like that's not in alignment with you right now because you're just looking for the enjoyment and for the pleasure, of what you've been eating and you're not willing to give it up, then it's like, okay, you're not ready to evolve yet. A lot of people, they're not ready to evolve. I even have people in my family where I feel like it's probably going to take them another lifetime. Like it's already gone too bad to the point where they're just hardened in their inherited beliefs and their delusion and their instant gratification and gluttony, you know, for certain things that they're just not willing to get away from that. All right? So yeah. Mhm. Oh, bacon, National Bacon Day. Are you serious? They really have a National Bacon Day for real? I never even heard of that. The Wicked Witch of the West. Don't forget Manico. Oh, I don't know what that is. Never heard of that before. Never heard of that one before. Mm. Oh, chicken feet soup. All right. But all right, tribe. So I'm gonna let you guys ask your questions. I'm gonna try to get into a few questions because I'm not gonna be live for long tonight. Okay, I do need to get me some rest. Okay, but I definitely wanted to come into the space to connect with the tribe and just answer for your questions. So tomorrow is most likely gonna be more like a longer version of live. Yeah, basically. Um, Me and my friend had to live off frogs and catfish. Oh wow, that's interesting. Now here's the thing. I can understand if a person end up in a predicament where they had nothing else to eat and just out of survival, they're like, yo, they had to eat a piece of frog or something. Listen, I can understand that. But to get up in your everyday life and frogs is on the menu, you know what I'm saying? Possum is on the menu, raccoons is on the menu. You know, pigs, bacon is on the menu every day. Now that's crazy right there. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, that is crazy. Oh, a trout. You end up getting a trout. That's good. When Jesus said all foods is clean and he was never talking about pigs, Jesus followed the Torah. So Jesus never ate pork or called it food. You want to know what's so interesting to what I've actually learned? Did you know that I've realized that even religions, it's the people who creates the religion. Because if you start to delve into it, you come to the realization that Jesus was not even a Christian. Who created Christianity? Because Jesus or Christ was not a Christian. Okay? People actually created it afterwards. Okay? It's same thing when you start looking into Islam. Muhammad was not Islamic. People created that afterwards. Isn't that interesting? That's very interesting. All right, so anyway though, so there's a herb that I wanna tell you about tonight. I feel like some of y'all probably know what it is already. All right. So I have this herb here, which I'm gonna introduce you to. Some of y'all, you probably know it, but if you don't, okay, it's a very, very powerful herb, and I feel like it's gonna really put you on a level of cleansing that's gonna really, really, really help you. Okay, do we have any liver or kidney cleanse? Hold on. No kidney cleanse? No kidney cleanse? Okay, so I don't have any more of the kidney reviver. I wanted to show you the kidney reviver. All right, so this here is called kidney wood. Okay, this is called kidney wood, or it's also called palo azul in Spanish. Okay, so this is called kidney wood, or also called palo azul in Spanish. Okay, so we call it kidney wood, or they also call it like blue stick. They call it blue stick as well. So this is a tree, a bark of a tree that purifies and cleanses out your kidneys. Now, clearly, we have the kidney reviver. If when it comes to a person being on dialysis, or you got kidney stones, you have nephrosis, which means that the nephrons inside of the kidneys needs filtering, right? Then generally, you want to get on a kidney cleanse that's going to be cleansing out the kidneys, right? Let me see if I have a diagram, because we are visual learners. But then again, I haven't seen that diagram of the kidneys in a long. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. So we have the kidney reviver tea. that cleanses out your kidneys, but I don't have any on display right now to basically show it to you. Okay, so this is the kidneys, right? Now, obviously, as you can tell, we're gonna have what? We're gonna have the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands sit directly on top of the kidneys. Okay, that's why you end up having the systolic and the diastolic. Both of these control your blood pressure. You know what? Before we even get into this herb for the kidney, I need you to understand something. So obviously we have a lot of people that goes through the whole, yo, I got high blood pressure. Hey, I'm on high blood pressure drugs. What can I do to help my pressure? Okay, because listen, high blood pressure is a big thing, and a lot of people is affected when it comes to high blood pressure. So I want you to pay attention. Okay? I want you to pay attention. So the first thing we're going to delve into is going to be a little bit of a controversy of information. Okay? But when you start to do your own research, you're going to realize that, oh, I see what he's talking about now. All right. So as to what I've learned is that you see like you'll have like 120/80. You're going to have the systolic and the diastolic of your blood pressure and what's normal and what's not normal, right? So so you'll notice that with the system in the matrix, they will tell you what a normalized blood pressure should be. They'll be like, oh, you should have this number over this number, and this is normal, or this number over that number is abnormal, and therefore you need to be on some drugs. So what I've learned through my research, or the depth of my knowledge, okay, is that first of all, everybody's body is different and unique, just like how we have different genetics. You cannot use the same range really of somebody else and say that, hey, my blood pressure should be within the range of somebody else when we're all different. We have all different body mass, different genetics. Okay, we come from different regions and different places where the body adjusts to the atmosphere, the temperature, and how we live. Okay, not going to get too deep into it, but I just want to kind of give you an idea what I'm talking about so that it can make sense to you. Okay, now keep in mind that the system, they use somebody of a whole different genetics to basically as the markers and put everybody else against that one person and say, hey, this is normal, this is not normal, this is normal, this is not normal. So the whole thing is kind of bogus from the start, but we're not going to get too deep into that anyway. I just want to give you a slight insight so that you can understand. Okay, so one factor is that everybody's body is different. You can't necessarily use the same range to put everybody under that banner or use it as a marker to say, hey, something is wrong with you. You know, so that's one what's the word I'm looking for? That's one fault. That's one fault in the system. Is fault the right word to use there? That's like one fault in the whole entire system there. Okay? Now, secondly, what I want you to understand as what I've learned as well. When you age, as you go up into age, your numbers are going to change. So have you noticed that when it comes to most elderly people, they end up going on high blood pressure drugs because they're told that, hey, your pressure is not good. But in fact, every single person, once you start to go up into age, your pressure is going to change from when you were young. That's the other thing. That's how they also get people that way too. Okay? So that's the other thing that actually happens. All right? All right. Now, thirdly, what you need to understand, there's a few different factors as to what cause you to have high blood pressure. Okay, we're going to get into it. This is going to be a very deep dive. I was about to come off live, but now I'm actually tapped in now. So it's kind of like too late. We're just going to have to go through this whole entire build and teaching right now. All right? All right. So there's a few different factors what actually contributes to you having high blood pressure. And one of the main thing, most people actually overlook this. One of the main thing people overlook it, completely overlooked it, right? So first thing we're going to look at your magnesium, okay? Whenever you have low magnesium, okay, your blood vessels are not able to relax. Okay, so what I want you to understand is this, okay? Okay, you see just like how I'm picking up this bottle right now, Okay, how am I picking up this bottle? I have to contract, right? I have to contract, and now I can pick up the bottle. I'm contracting my muscles, right, to pick up the bottle. Hold on. So I realize whenever I put a vibration on the table, it triggers one of the thing on my interface. Okay, so notice when I pick something up, I have to contract my muscles to pick something up. Okay, okay. How is your body actually contracting your muscles? Your body is using what? Calcium. Okay, calcium. So when it comes to any contraction, the body uses calcium. So now I'm using calcium to do this. But now I put the bottle down, and what? In order for me to let the bottle go, I have to relax my muscles, right? I have to relax my muscles. How is the body doing that? Magnesium. So the body uses calcium to contract, magnesium to relax. See that? And now everything is relaxed. So what do you think happened when you don't have enough magnesium in your body? Your blood vessels, they're constricted. Because remember, the blood vessels, they dilate. Okay, they dilate. Or like this, they dilate like this. When you don't have enough magnesium or your magnesium level is low, your blood vessels are constricted. Your blood vessels can't relax. In order for your blood vessels to dilate, they have to be completely relaxed. So when they're relaxed, they're more open. Just like how I just opened my hands to let the bottle go, right? Your blood vessels are now what? Open. The blood can circulate all the way throughout the system. But what happens when the magnesium level is low and the blood vessels are like this? They're not all the way open, they're like this. Okay? Somewhat kind of open, but not fully because what? They're constricted. So now the blood can't really flow through that easily because there's no relaxation. You see? We have some constriction creating like a resistance. So because your body is so intelligent and the body needs to ensure that the blood goes where it needs to go because the blood is the river of life. If blood don't circulate throughout the body, something is going to die. Some organ or something is going to die. The body cannot allow for that to happen. So what the body does, it increases the pressure to force the blood through the blood vessels that are constricted. It basically increases the pressure. The higher the pressure is the more force to push the blood through against anything that's preventing the blood from getting where it needs to go. So it's still your body protecting you and trying to ensure your survival by increasing the pressure. The body is very intelligent. That increase of the pressure is what causes hypertension. Give you high blood pressure, hypertension, because your body had to increase its pressure just to get the blood where it needs to go because you are not eating real foods. If you're eating leafy greens, drinking your chlorophyll, your magnesium level would have been good. Everything would have been fine. But you're eating McDonald's and cheeseburgers, right? And Dunkin' Donuts and Domino Pizza and waffles in the morning and pancakes with syrup. That's what you eat in the morning. That ain't got no magnesium in it. You see, you did it to you. You don't understand the very chemistry of your own temple. You're fucking up, basically. Okay? So now your body increases the pressure because there's no magnesium in your diet. There's no magnesium coming in for the body to use it to do its daily functions. So now your body had to increase the pressure to get the blood to flow through. That creates pressure. Okay? That's one factor. So if you got high blood pressure, what you need to do, go make sure you're consuming magnesium. You'll be surprised. Your blood pressure go all the way back down. You're good now. Process of elimination. Okay? Now, secondly, table salt. We talked about this for years now. By now, I don't expect nobody here should be consuming table salt. Table salt harden your arteries due to the sodium levels. Okay? Due to the sodium levels. Now, I think in each one of our cells we have like a potassium sodium ratio. I don't remember the exact ratio right now, but definitely when you consume too much sodium, you create constriction. Table salt, it hardens your arteries. That's what table salt does. It hardens your arteries. When your arteries are hardened, again, the blood cannot flow through. Increase your pressure. So low magnesium and table salt. I recommend for you to use sea salt, natural sea salt. Nothing else is accepted. Okay? Nothing else is accepted. Now that we move past the magnesium and we move past the table salt, let's now get into the other factor as to what contributes to high blood pressure. Okay? Now, obviously, high cholesterol. What does cholesterol do? It clogs up your arteries. We just talked about the sea salt, not the sea salt, the table salt harden your arteries, and having high cholesterol, it clogs up the arteries. As a matter of fact, hold up, because you all already know that I'm a visual person, you know, and when I'm making certain statements, I don't want people to feel like, oh, that's your opinion, that's just how you feel, okay? I will pull up these documentations on your ass, okay, because you're going to learn today. And keep in mind, listen, your doctor is not going to teach you none of this because your doctor does not know. Okay? Your doctor was only taught around 15 hours on some nutrition and that was it. Okay? Your doctor is trained to drug you out, diagnose you and drug you out. They don't have no deep knowledge behind nothing. Alright? So they're not going to teach you this kind of a stuff. Where is this diagram? Okay? Now, what I want you to keep in mind is yes, since table salt harden your arteries and cholesterol clog your arteries, obviously, oh, okay, I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna need this for the next thing that we're gonna talk about. Oh, perfect. I end up even finding some goodies that I have not seen in a good minute. I needed these. Perfect. Okay, where's my diagram? Listen, I know you're in here somewhere, okay? And I saw you in here. I know you're in here. Don't be hiding from me now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So, if table salt harden your arteries, look what cholesterol does. Okay? Take a look at it. Look what cholesterol does. This is what cholesterol do to you. Okay? You see that? So, now let me ask you a question. Since cholesterol clog up your arteries, as you can see how it clogs it up, right? And you know that that's what actually contributes to cardiovascular diseases, right? Because the blood can't get to circulate to get to where it needs to go. Look, take a look. Look what you be doing to yourself. Oh, bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning, right? Waffles and pancake, right? BBQ wings, right? McDonald's burger, right? Fried eggs in the morning. You want egg and bread? That's what you're having for breakfast, right? You see that? This is what you do to your arteries. Look, you clog up your arteries with animal fat. That's what you do. Notice how you start to clog it up. So what do you think is going to happen here? Enough blood cannot pass through anymore. It's supposed to look like this. It is supposed to look like this when you're eating the foods that God designed so that the blood can pass through freely. But look, you have a limited amount of space. You have a limited amount of space. Look, barely have enough space for the blood to pass through. Okay? And you end up with cardiovascular disease. But in the midst of that, I want you to see how the body had to build up more pressure to try to get the blood through, because look, the space for the blood to travel through have now become smaller. It's going to increase the pressure. There's no more free flow. You see what's going on here? So we're talking about low magnesium, table salt, and high cholesterol of animal fat that clogs up the arteries. These contribute to your high blood pressure and cardiovascular diseases. Okay? Now let's move on. Now that you understand, so what do we eat for breakfast? What the Bible says for you to eat? I give you seeds and fruits for food. You eat fruits for breakfast. Okay? You eat fruits for breakfast. Or you can get some phony and make some natural cereal. Eat some papaya. Eat some cantaloupe, honeydew melon, some blueberry, blackberry, and strawberry, some coconut water, drink some natural chlorophyll in the morning, and you move on throughout your day. Eat what comes from God, what comes from nature. What do you mean? What do you mean? What should you eat for breakfast? God's food. Stop eating dead animals and manufactured processed food from a laboratory. It's only going to kill you. You eat to live, not to die. Okay? Eat to live, not to die. A matter of fact, you know what? Let me get some juice because you know we made some juice last night. We made some good chlorophyll juice last night. Y'all was actually with me last night while we're putting everything together. This is our natural chlorophyll that we made. Okay, with the tribe. If y'all was here with me last night, then you already know the process and you already know all the ingredients. Okay? This is how you take care of your temple. You don't put filth inside of your body. You put energy directly from source, directly from nature. That's going to do what? Contribute to your genetical structure. Deliver life force to your cells and your tissue. Deodorize your body. Cleanse out your organs while also nourishing your very essence. This should be basic common sense for you to understand. Basic common sense for you to understand. Okay? Let me get me some juice before we continue, because we have quite a bill to get into tonight. Okay, we're gonna get into it. Somebody said, "Where are you from?" I'm from the heavens. I'm from the heavens. And I'm gonna get you right this lifetime. Okay? As long as you listen, as long as you love yourself enough and you're willing to get in alignment with your highest good and evolve, enter into the spiral of your continuous evolution. Okay? Yeah. That's what I'm here for. Sensational. All right. Let us continue. So, we see how low magnesium affects you, how table salt affects you, and how what? Animal fat, high cholesterol, clogs up your arteries, contributing to more high blood pressure. And having your arteries clogged up, obviously you're gonna end up with fatty liver. You're gonna end up with fatty liver disease. You're also gonna end up with cardiovascular disease because look, you're clogging up your own arteries. Okay? So every morning you get up and it's like, yo, bacon, egg, and cheese, waffles, Thanksgiving turkey, McDonald's, Burger King. This is what you're doing. Okay? This is exactly what you're doing down here. You're killing yourself slowly. Okay? So now that we have that understood, let us move on. Okay? And everybody within the YouTube space, you know, I definitely wanted tonight to be a very intrinsic build with you, but for some reason, when it comes to the comment section, I cannot see the comment section. It keep vanishing. I guess YouTube does not allow the comment section to remain. I don't know. So it is what it is. All right. So now we understand what contributes to high blood pressure. Those are the three things that contributes, right? We're not done yet though. We're not done yet. Okay, we're not done yet. Now, as you can clearly tell, right? We have what? Let me see if I have any more diagrams that can break this down even more for you. Okay, more for you. Because, you know, I'm also a visual learner, so, and I know you guys are visual learners too. So I like to have my diagrams outlining everything clearly so that you can see it. Okay, so these are the capillaries within the arteries. Okay, you guys are not ready for that yet. I don't want to give you too much information in one night to overwhelm your brain. So we'll go through these in phases. We'll go through these in phases. All right, yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I don't think y'all are gonna be able to hold so much information in one night. So, right. All right. Now, so let us take a look at the kidneys again. Now, what I want you to realize is this. Remember that your blood goes into your kidneys. Your kidneys filter your blood. It's a reason why God giving you two kidneys. Okay, these are also your sacral chakra. Okay, these are sitting right down here. They're sitting right here in your back. Right? So basically, generally, if you take your fingers and you put them on your back, right underneath your rib cage, okay, right where your rib cage end, okay, those are where your kidneys are sitting directly at. Okay, so that's how you can find your kidneys basically right underneath your back, underneath your rib cage. You find your kidneys sitting there. So notice how you got two. God didn't just give you one. God gave you two kidneys because they're very important. Okay. So what your kidneys do, they filter your blood. Now, one way how to check to see how well your kidneys are filtering, when you wake up in the morning, okay, you can actually pee inside of a glass jar. Like you can get a glass jar or get like a small glass jar or something, and you can pee inside of the glass jar. Put it down for around 3 to 4 hours. Just put it down. Ain't gotta worry about it. Then you can come back. Then you're gonna come back and you're gonna shake it up. Okay, you're gonna shake it up. And then when you shake it up, you're gonna look into the glass. And what you're looking for, you want to see sediments. You want to see sediments, all kind of stuff in it. Basically, your urine is supposed to be dirty. Okay? If you shake it up and your urine look dirty, all kind of stuff floating around in it, that's good. That's good. That means what? It means your kidneys are filtering properly. They're doing their job. However, if you just shake it up and your urine is just yellow and you don't see nothing floating around in it, okay? Your kidneys are not filtering at their highest potential. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with your kidneys. They're not filtering as well as they're supposed to be filtering, which means that they need some help. Okay? They need some help. We're going to get into that. But first, since we're on the topic of the kidney, I definitely want to tap into this to let you know how you can check your own kidneys. Okay? Just pee when you get up in the morning inside of a jar, put it down and come back and shake it up. And you're looking to see a lot of stuff in it. That's good, mean that the kidneys are filtering. If you don't see nothing in it, if it's not dirty and the urine look just clean and yellow, that's not good. Kidneys need some help. Anyway, so here we have the kidneys, and what you can tell is this. We have the adrenal gland that sits on the top. Okay, we're going to get to that. But notice how the blood comes in and the blood goes back out. Okay, so what actually happened is this: the blood goes into the kidneys, right? And then inside of the kidneys, these are called nephrons. Do you see these? Do you see these right here? These are called nephrons. Okay, and the nephrons are like what? The nephrons are like a filter. Okay, these are filter that act like a cheesecloth. So okay, you see, just like whenever we're making coconut milk, right? Notice whenever I'm making coconut milk, I use a cheesecloth. Okay, I use a cheesecloth, and even right now, you can see that there's even a little tiny piece of coconut, dry coconut, dusty, blended out parts. Look, you see that? Because what? I use the cheesecloth to filter the milk from the coconut pulp. So these nephrons inside your kidneys are doing the same thing. These are just filters. Think of it like a cheesecloth bag that filters the waste matter and the sediments out of your blood. Okay? I want you to understand this. So, as the blood enters in, the blood is now going through these nephrons. These are called nephrons, which are like the filter or like a cheesecloth, which the blood goes through, and all the dirt, all the waste matter that's inside of the blood gets trapped into the nephrons, and the blood comes back out to the other side. Notice, one of these valves, the blood goes in, the other one, the blood comes back out and re-enter back into circulation again. I want you to understand this. Okay? So, how the kidney works now, when the nephrons have filtered out the blood that's coming in, right? And it catches all the sediments and the residue and what not supposed to be there. The kidney now is going to mix that residue or those waste matter with water and send it to your bladder, and now you go pee and you urinate out that waste. Is that making sense? Again, the blood comes in through one of these channels. These nephrons are filters or cheesecloth. They act like a cheesecloth. They're filters or strainers. So the blood comes in and the blood comes back out to the other one. Okay, so the blood comes in through this one. Boom. Right? It filters. So now clean blood is coming out. So dirty blood goes in and clean blood comes out, and all the dirt is left into these nephrons. And the kidney will now use water to mix with that dirt and send it to the bladder so that you can pee it out. That's why whenever you pee inside of a container and put it down and you come and you shake it up, it should be dirty, because it means that, hey, your kidneys is doing its job of removing the waste from your blood. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Now let us move on, right? Now, what I want you to understand is this. Okay, by the way, before we even get there, whenever a person have a kidney stone, right? Whenever a person have a kidney stone is when all the waste matter has been, or all the dirt is lodged up in the nephrons and they become hardened because there's not enough water or hydration to allow your kidney to basically dissolve them to send them to the blood. That's what a kidney stone is. Okay? It's basically hardening of the waste, or hardening of the nephrons, which we call nephrosis. Whenever somebody have nephrosis, it's basically the kidney have become so clogged up with waste to the point where the kidney can't function anymore. That's how a person end up on dialysis, because their kidney is so clogged with waste matter to the point where the kidney can't do this. It cannot push anything out, and that's when you end up with dialysis. You gotta go, them taking your blood out of your body, run it through a machine because your kidneys can't function anymore. Because what? You fucked up your kidneys. Don Julio, right? Hennessy, right? 1800s, right? Parmesan, sodas, all kind of sodas and processed sugar and garbage, artificial flavor, artificial color. You see, When you're out there drinking this shit every day, acting like shit is sweet, it's your kidney that have to deal with all that artificial flavor that you're drinking. The artificial, artificial color. When you eat ice cream, your kidney have to deal with those artificial colors and flavors. When you drink all these different sodas and beverages, your fruit roll up, your Skittles, your M&M, your kidney have to deal with all of that artificial shit that you just consume. The lack of knowledge, my people, perish. You don't understand what you're doing to yourself. You think it's all fun and games until you're in the hospital on a machine sucking the blood out of your very body. So now listen, God giving you two, not just one. Think about this. God giving you two kidneys, and you're telling me that you live such a terrible lifestyle to the point where you fucked up two kidneys? I don't think you guys are understanding. God giving you two, and your lifestyle is so detrimental to your own well-being to where you destroyed both of your kidneys. You need to change your life. So once the kidneys have become overwhelmed with waste, the nephrons cannot filter anymore. So therefore the kidneys can't function. That's what dialysis is, or kidney failure. That's what they call kidney failure. It's literally clogged up with waste. It's not as if your kidneys are just working fine and all of a sudden they just fail. No, you did it. You did it through your lifestyle. You did it through your diet. You did it to your own self. Got to do better. Okay? I'm going to give you a solution. Don't worry. I got you. I'm going to give you a solution. We're not here to talk about the problem without a solution because that's not going to help nobody. Right? But anyway, you need to understand how such of an occurrence, or how people get themselves in this circumstance. You need to understand it. Again, your doctor's not going to teach you none of this shit. They're just there to drug you. Okay? Let's move on. Now, remember, we're actually on the topic of what? High blood pressure. So what I want you to realize is this. Since the blood comes in and the blood comes out, your kidneys also influences your blood pressure. So also, if your kidneys are not filtering properly and they're clogged up, you can see how the blood is not going through freely. So also your kidney also controls your blood pressure. So when people out there taking all kind of drugs for high blood pressure, you see what I'm talking about? You need to clean your kidneys. You need to get your magnesium level up. You need to cleanse out your arteries of that cholesterol and animal fat. You need to stop consuming table salt. I'm only trying to show you how much different factors of what contributes to your kidney, to your high blood pressure. And these are the things that people are not looking at all. Just pop a pill. So because the blood goes in and travel through, if these are clogged up, the blood is not going to go through that freely either. Because the filters are stagnated and clogged up, so the blood can't pass through that much. Your pressure is going to be high. Now, I want you to take a look at this beautiful manifestation sitting right on top, like a triangle, right? Like a pyramid, sitting up here like that. These are called your adrenal glands. Now, obviously, your adrenal glands is in a whole nother powerhouse. They may be tiny and small, sitting right on the top, but listen, they don't play no games. Okay, they're very, very powerful, and you need them. Now, keep in mind that the adrenal glands does a multitude of things. The adrenal glands are like the chemical factory of your body. These are the chemical factory. Okay, so we're talking about estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol. Your adrenal glands is producing so much different chemicals to keep everything balanced and to keep you alive, because these are your sacral chakra. The adrenals are your sacral chakra. That's why your sacral chakra corresponds to creativity. Think about it. Are you able to see the link? Your sacral chakra corresponds to what? Creativity and sexuality. That's what they talk about when they talk about when a person is like, you know, Okay, let me not use that term. But generally, when a person lacks creativity, they have like a sacral chakra block. Like there's a blockage in their sacral chakra. So they're not that creative. They're not building or creating nothing. They just consume. Consume, consume, consume. They're not in touch with their creativity because the sacral chakra is blocked. Okay? Um, I think also when it comes to sexuality as well, when certain people, or even to say, well, I don't want to get into that aspect of it because a lot of people, they're going to take stuff and turn it into another way. But I can only give you the metaphysical knowledge behind it, saying that also when people have a blocked sacral chakra, because sacral chakra corresponds to sexuality, people can also go through a little bit of confusion as well. Okay, basically. So, and also when the sacral chakra is not really open in that sense, you'll have people who have different kind of like, when it comes to the realm of sex, they're just not that balanced in that area either because the sacral chakra corresponds to your creativity and your sexuality. Now, here's and procreation. So sexuality, procreation, and creativity, that's what the sacral chakra does, which is the adrenal glands. Okay, how can I prove this? Okay, because again, as I said, whenever I make statements or we're tapping into certain deeper levels of knowledge, I'm not just going to mention something just to mention it. It needs to make sense to you, and you should be able to make the connections. Okay, make the connections yourself. It needs to make sense to you, right? So remember, the sacral chakra corresponds to creativity, creating something, and it corresponds to sexuality and procreation. How do we prove that this is a fact? Okay, so let's come over and look at the faculties of the adrenal glands. What gland does most of the creating in your body? The adrenal glands. That's what creates your testosterone. If you have low testosterone, listen, instead of y'all popping honey packs, taking Viagra, taking what do they call it, Cialis, or something like that, you need to go to your adrenal glands. If your testosterone is low, your adrenal glands is not functioning properly. There's an imbalance. When it comes to estrogen, the adrenal glands produce the estrogen. This is the creation factory. I'm trying to show you how creativity and the creation corresponds both in the physical, right, and the metaphysical. I want you to kind of see the connection what I'm talking about, right? So we have the adrenal glands responsible for all the creation of the chemical messengers that allows the body to experience or do certain things. And since the adrenal glands is the sacral chakra, which corresponds to creativity, creation, creativity is the same thing. See that? Good, right? Now, obviously the sacral chakra corresponds to sexuality and procreation. How do we make the connection here? Well, generally, for you to be aroused, your adrenal glands have to produce the hormones which allow you to be aroused, right? Estrogen and testosterone. Hello? So now you can see the physiological and the metaphysical. Same thing. Okay? You see what I'm going? So the adrenal glands produces testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, also produces cortisol. Cortisol helps your body to deal with stress. Okay, and that's actually what I'm going to really get into, but I had to get more deeper into the knowledge before we get to how stress affects you. It's called a silent killer. Now also keep in mind that the adrenal glands also produces adrenaline and noradrenaline. That's what the whole adrenochrome is about. Listen, I don't know if they're going to block me. I don't know if they're going to block me or cut me off for talking about this stuff, because that's what they do. Okay, you're not allowed to speak about certain things, as you can tell, what they've been doing to my social media platforms. Once you start to tap into certain levels of knowledge, that people, which I guess people are not supposed to know about. So the adrenal produces what? Adrenaline and noradrenaline. That's what we call fight or flight mode. So what adrenaline does, right? It somewhat give you a burst of energy. It's kind of like a backup mechanism of a survival mode. When somebody get into fight or flight mode, according to science, a person has so much energy to the point where they can jump over high walls. And according to science, in fight or flight mode, a person even have the strength to lift up a car, because it's kind of like a defense mechanism of your body giving you the strength so that you can flee, you can get away from danger, so that you can evade danger. Now let me explain it to you on a physiological level, because again, I like to break it down to the minute details so you can see how this happens physiologically. So you guys know how whenever you consume sugar, right, and then your pancreas produces the insulin, which allow your cells to utilize the glucose in your blood for energy, right? So we know that basically what happened is the body stores sugar inside of the liver called glycogen. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So the body actually stores sugar or energy into the liver called glycogen. That's like a backup storage of energy. Okay? We know this. Okay? We know this. So what happened now is, if you're in danger and the body go into fight or flight mode, right? Adrenaline and noradrenaline, what they do, they basically release the storage of energy from the liver, which give the person a burst of energy so that they can flee or evade danger. Get the fuck out of there, basically. You see what I'm saying? So a person gonna have like top speed, or they can jump over a high obstacle or a wall, or they have enough strength to break away from something or lift up a car. This is science proving that as a fact. Okay? So that's how powerful the adrenal gland is. It produces these chemicals, and it's called the chemical messenger. This is the factory, the creation factory of the most important chemicals in the body, the adrenals. Okay? Now, obviously, the adrenal glands also produces cortisol. Okay, what is cortisol? So cortisol helps your body to deal with stress. Okay? It helps your body to deal with stress. It helps you to deal with stress. But keep in mind that you're not supposed to be in a stressful environment for a long time. So your adrenal glands is so intelligent that it's always producing cortisol behind the scenes every time you're stressed. This means that whenever you're at work, and your job is stressing you, whether your boss, your supervisor, whatever is stressing you, it means if you're in a relationship where you're not being valued or being mistreated in any capacity, your adrenal glands is always producing cortisol to help you to deal with the stress that you're going under, to prevent you from going into depression, that downward spiral. A lot of people that you see go into depression is because their adrenal glands burnt out. And they start to feel like, hey, there's a heavy weight over me, like a dark cloud. They go into depression because the adrenal glands become burnt out. Because what? You're not supposed to be in a stressful situation constantly. So if your everyday life is you being under stress, if your workplace is you being under stress, understand that you're burning out the adrenal glands, because it has to keep producing cortisol, keep producing cortisol. Human beings, we were not designed to be constantly under stress, because it deteriorates or depresses the spirit. That's the whole thing about the matrix and this society. You see, it's like everything is about capitalism and money. And yes, you can make the money and do whatever, but notice most of the people, they're still depressed. They're making money and paying bills, but they're not happy. They're not happy. Their spirit is deteriorating. You see? So, same thing when you're in a relationship that's not good for you. You're stressed, you're stressed, you're stressed. Basically, the adrenal gland keep producing more cortisol, more cortisol, more cortisol, more cortisol. And the adrenal glands need vitamin C to regenerate itself. So then what we call a adrenal burnout, adrenal fatigue. And that's when a person starts to go down into depression. Okay? Now, what I want you to understand is this. The adrenal glands also control your blood pressure as well. Notice they sit directly on top of the kidneys. So the kidney control your blood pressure, the adrenal control your blood pressure. Now, when it comes to what do I need for my adrenal glands? Okay, I'm also watching the time frame. I don't remember what time we came live, but I have to kind of like watch the hours so IG don't delete me off here and we lose the whole entire live. Anyway, I know you're going to ask me, you're going to say, all right, what do we need for the adrenal glands? Now, first of all, you need vitamin C. You need vitamin C. How are you going to get the vitamin C? You're going to get it from oranges. Eat a couple of oranges in the morning. Also, pine buds and pine needles. Remember, pine needles contain so much vitamin C that they utilize it to end the whole scurvy epidemic. Remember, back in the early 1900s when sailors used to be on the ship, scurvy disease was a big thing because fruits are so perishable that they never had any fruits. While they're traveling across the ocean, they would come down with scurvy because they had no vitamin C, right? Then it was pine needles that heal everybody from scurvy, and scurvy no longer exists. So you can see the lack of vitamin C is, your body can go down into, not good. So pine needles, gonna give you vitamin C. Pine buds give you vitamin C. Papayas give you vitamin C. Oranges give you vitamin C. Okay, so get your vitamin C levels up. Next, let's move over to how we regenerate or nurture the adrenals. Okay, licorice root. Licorice root is going to do what? Regenerate, stimulate, nurture your adrenal glands. But here's the thing. If you have high blood pressure, you can't use the licorice root because licorice root is a cardiac stimulant. Only going to increase your pressure. Don't do it. In that case, what you need is wild yam. Wild yam root, that's the one that you're going to need if you have high blood pressure. Okay? Now, me personally, for my adrenal, as you can see here, this is my tincture. Notice, licorice root, wild yam. This is my tincture that I made for myself. Okay? And I made this tincture, 11/21/24? 11/21/24. It's like last year. And it just sitting here, brewing up properly. Love it. Okay? This is how I take care of my adrenals. So just so that you understand. All right? So these are the other factors that contributes to your high blood pressure. Now, I have a documentation here with adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue. Okay, let me go through it, give you some additional insight. Okay, it says the adrenal glands produce cortisol and other hormones to regulate the body's stress response. Okay? Chronic stress leads to excess cortisol production and symptoms of adrenal imbalances and adrenal fatigue. Okay? Basically, support your adrenal glands. Sleep and rest. Gentle exercise. Okay? Targeted supplements, like we talked about just now. Wild yam, pine needle, pine buds, eat some oranges, eat some papayas. Good. Avoid caffeine and sugar. Avoid caffeine and sugar. Listen, I know all of the Starbucks attendant. I know they're mad right now. Listen, I know you don't want to hear this. Starbucks lovers, I know you over there. I know you don't want to hear this. Trust me, I know. No coffee. Stop drinking that garbage. I told y'all already. Go to my website and get or alkaline version of coffee. Okay, it tastes 10 times better than what you're drinking. I promise you. Anybody who's in the comment section that have had it before, they can tell you how amazing it is. Okay, this is the more alkaline version of coffee. It's gonna cleanse your kidneys, it's gonna cleanse your liver, it's gonna cleanse your blood and raise up your zinc, iron, and potassium levels as well. Okay, it's gonna change your life. Okay, you don't need to be drinking that toxic coffee. Stop doing that. Stop doing that to yourself. Okay, stop. All right, basically. All right, so here's are some symptoms of adrenal fatigue. Okay, you feel tired, not feeling that much energy. Even after you wake up, you still feel a little bit tired and you're like, yo, I just wake up. Okay? Depression. Because remember, I says, what happened when the adrenal glands can't produce enough cortisol to help you to deal with stress? You go into depression. A lot of people I see on social media, oh, I'm depressed right now. I know you're depressed because a couple months ago I saw you on your story in the club drinking Don Julio and Hennessy. Every time you drink alcohol, you basically put stress to your kidneys and your adrenals. And especially that you're not drinking sufficient amount of water. You're not doing a kidney cleanse to come back and nurture your kidneys and your adrenals after you've done abuse them in the club or at the bar. Eventually you're gonna go through a crash. It's only a matter of time. Okay? Only a matter of time. All right. Anxiety. When your adrenal glands is fatigued, you go through anxiety as well. Poor sleep. Okay? You're not sleeping properly. Lightheadedness. Okay? Right. Hair loss. Hair loss. Yep. Listen, I know you guys didn't expect that one. Hair loss. Yes, hair loss. Right? And reliance on caffeine. Reliance on caffeine. Look, reliance on caffeine. All them people you see posting on the story, oh, I'm at Starbucks. I'm at Starbucks. Oh gosh. Okay, joint pain. Brain fog. So we know that when your adrenal is fatigued, you go to brain fog. And the other thing that causes brain fog, of course, is the parasites in your body that you've not done a parasite cleanse to remove. Okay? So brain fog. Okay. Darkness around the eyes. Okay? I call it raccoon eyes. All them people you see with the dark circle around the eyes. Listen, you're not supposed to be having no dark circle around your eyes. Your eyes should just be normal like this. Okay? Having a dark circle around your eyes ain't nothing normal about it. Ain't nothing at all normal about it. Okay, what happened as to why a dark circle would form around a person's eyes? Ain't nothing normal about that. You have internal issues, parasites in the body, adrenal fatigue, or people who delve into, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? You see all them people who you see on TikTok talking about the TikTok witches, and they're on there putting people's name, freezing people's name in jars and doing witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. That's one of the symptoms of people who be doing that type of a shit. Okay? It comes back to hit them and they end up with some big dark circles around their eyes. Everybody knows this at this point. So yeah. Dark circle around the eyes, the raccoon eyes. You're delving in witchcraft and some shit like that you're not supposed to be doing. Or your adrenal glands are down. Okay? Or your organs, or you need to do a parasite cleanse. Completely different from somebody who have bag underneath their eyes. I know some people got bag under their eyes all the time. So let's talk about the bag underneath the eyes real quick. So we all know that when it comes to the graveyard shift, if you're working the graveyard shift, obviously you're gonna start developing bag underneath your eyes. That's crazy. Like you'll see some stuff like this. I can't even do it. That's great. Oh, hold on. Wait. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody though. Let me just make that be clear. Okay. But you will see. There. Why my face can't do it? My face can't even do it, right? But normally they will have like. There. My face really can't do it. But you guys know what I'm talking about. You will see like under here. and it comes with a big bag underneath the eye, right? So the graveyard shift causes you to have bag under your eyes, and not getting enough sleep cause bags underneath your eyes, right? And the third thing which causes bag underneath the eyes, I don't think you guys are ready for this one, is when people, listen. I don't want YouTube to. Okay, so here's what. The third thing that causes bag underneath the eyes is when people are being fucked in the ass. Okay? Basically. Because what end up happening is you have the vagus nerve. Okay? You have the 12 cranial nerves. The 12 cranial nerves that basically travels from the brain, because the 12 cranial nerves correspond to the 12 tribe of Israel, or the 12 disciples the Bible talk about. Okay? So you actually have one of the, let me see. I don't know if I have a diagram so I can show you exactly what it is, right? But the vagus nerve, when the vagus nerve is being shocked, okay, it creates a big bag underneath the eye, especially for with the people who are doing it ritualistically. So you see all of that stuff that people were talking about on the internet about them going to this guy's house, and apparently he had baby oil on the floor, and they was trying to escape, and they couldn't escape because they slip on the floor, and he ambushes them, and then he did whatever he did to them, right? You have to understand that it's not the fact that the guy is a booty bandit. It's the fact that there's a spiritual thing going on where he can steal your energy. Okay, they can basically take your gift or take your destiny from you by shocking your vagus nerve, which pulls your kundalini energy downwards out of your spine. Again, some of this stuff you're not gonna know what I'm talking about unless you understand occult esoteric knowledge, or unless you know about how certain rituals work. Okay, so in Hollywood, they do what they call anal sex magic. Okay, it's called anal sex magic, and it comes from Aleister Crowley's teaching. If anybody here knows anything about Aleister Crowley, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So when you guys hear these stories about what's going on in Hollywood and who's getting booty raped, and you thinking that, oh, these guys just like men, it's more deeper than that. It's the energy that they're harvesting and taking from the person. Okay? Because they're pulling it through the root chakra. Because I remember seeing that some guy was saying that, oh, he went to the guy's house, and that the party was done, and then the whole vibe changed, and a guy gave him gave him a drink. He said he drank the drink, and he didn't remember anything until he wake up the next morning with his ass bleeding. And that's some crazy shit, but it's like, yo, why are you there? Why are you there? Okay, so I'm trying to find a diagram that would show you exactly the vagus nerve in the anal area so that you can understand what anal sex magic is. Okay, so it's not just what you guys are thinking is, oh, they just like dudes, and it's deeper than that. Yes, they do. Okay, but somebody can steal your energy from you by shocking your vagus nerve. Okay, it's called anal sex magic, and if you look into Aleister Crowley's work, you will see. Okay, I don't have the diagram, but I wanted to show you the diagram so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, basically. So yeah, so those are the signs that a person, when you see a person with like bags under their eyes, okay, big bags under their eyes. If it's not the graveyard shift, okay, and it's not from stress and being tired, definitely. And whenever, okay, so whenever you see the bags that are there permanently, if the bags are there permanently, you know for sure, because remember, even when somebody do the graveyard shift, after they start getting their rest, the bag is gone. But if you notice that there's somebody walking around and you're seeing them all the time with a big bag under their eye permanently, yeah, okay, they're being fucked in the ass. Okay? Basically. All right, anyway, let's move on. Okay, so we talk about joint pain, brain fog, and we talk about the dark circle around the eyes as well. Right? So also weight gain. Okay, and I don't want nobody to start to blame on blame, oh, you being fat, oh, it must be my adrenals make me fat. No, 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 you just under gluttony. You won't stop eating the trash. But definitely having it, because remember your adrenal glands, as you can tell, it creates the hormones to regulate your body and everything. So obviously if the adrenal is down, then everything's going to be dysregulated in that sense. Okay? Somebody says, so your dad is 71. No, no, no. I'm not talking about old people who are older age, like old, and they start to develop. Because remember, some people when they start to get very old, obviously the skin start to get shriveled up. So listen, that's a complete different thing. Because people when they start to get old, notice the whole entire skin shriveled up. So that's different. So you will see like this. Okay, they're completely out of the question. I'm talking about people who are not. We're not old or anything. And you see them with that permanent bag under their eye. Yep. All right. So here's some other natural supplements for the adrenal glands. Okay. Astragalus root. I have some astragalus here. I'm going to be making some tinctures. Okay. Um, and also rhodiola. I have rhodiola too. So rhodiola and astragalus, those are good to make tinctures or teas for the adrenal glands as well. Okay. Yep. How do I whiten my teeth and clear hyperpigmentation? To whiten your teeth, charcoal. Brush your teeth with charcoal. Your teeth is going to be super white. Okay, but it's not something you want to be doing every single day because you're going to start to break down the enamel of your teeth. Okay? Generally, once you're eating clean, your teeth is supposed to be naturally white, honestly, once you're eating properly. So, yeah. Yes, rhodiola. Okay, take care of your teeth, eat properly, and your teeth will be fine. I also find it crazy how everybody's out there walking around with fake teeth, and it's kind of crazy to me how I see people. No, I'm not taking no shot at nobody or nothing because at the end of the day, it's your life. If that makes you happy, then that makes you happy. But I kind of call them donkey teeth. Like the people who get the veneers, right? And all of a sudden now, it's like everybody needs to know that they have veneers like it's a flex. It's not really a flex, to be honest. Because how you taking compliments on something that's not yours? That's not yours. You're hiding your real teeth underneath. And them real teeth is in a very bad condition. Remember, your teeth are connected to your lymphatic system. They needs to be brushed and clean. You putting a shell over it is causing your teeth to even be more decay. So like on the outside, everything looks good, but on the inside, everything is decaying. You see, again, I talk about how people comes into society and they start to get away from nature. Now everything needs to be artificial. How are you taking compliments for something that's not yours? It's not your teeth. And this whole donkey teeth business is just going crazy right now. You see, listen, I do not know what's going on with humanity. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what's going on with humanity. How are you gonna file down your teeth to put on some donkey teeth and start taking compliments for it? That's not your teeth. How about you work on your actual teeth, basically? Now I can understand if somebody get into an accident and they lost a couple teeth or something. That's completely different. But you flying, so okay, so imagine this. You can't take care of your own teeth to the point, and you don't like them. Okay, you don't like them, right? And then you end up paying crazy amount of money, fly to a whole another country to go file down the teeth that God given you. Do you know that your teeth are connected to your wisdom? Do you know that? That's why the teeth back here is called wisdom teeth. There's nerves. You have a nerves that connect to every single teeth and your lymph that connect to every single teeth in your mouth. Okay? And you file them down to go put a synthetic plastic shell right over and come back posting pics and taking compliments. Are you okay? Are you okay? Then again, maybe I'm just like from the natural world, but how are you taking compliments for something that's not yours? That's just so strange to me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And it looks like a donkey teeth. It looks just like the one. What's that cartoon with the green guy? Okay, so there's this cartoon with a green guy. He's like an ogre, and there was some girl in it, right? And they had like a donkey as well, but he's always smiling, right? And like the veneers look just like that. Oh yeah, yeah, Shrek. Literally. That's what I see every time I see somebody with a veneer. It looks just like that. Like I don't know what's going on with society. So while you're walking around with them stuff on, your actual teeth is just decaying on the inside. Decaying on the inside. You're walking around with a whole cap over your teeth, hiding your real teeth that are not being cleaned. Listen, I want you to think about it. Think about the fact that your real teeth is not being cleaned. You see, basically it cannot breathe, it can't breathe or nothing. They're just up under there, locked away, decaying. No air, nothing. No cleaning, no nothing. No flossing, no nothing. Because what? You have a cap and everything over them. The root is not being cleaned because you got a cap over it. If you got a cap over your teeth, you can't clean the root out. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, I mean, that's your life, and do what you do. Do what you do. You do have your own power of free will, and you have the right to live however you want to live, really. But I'm just saying that's not very healthy. Okay? So I'm not condemning you. I know some of y'all be like, "Oh, why you judging us?" I'm not condemning you. Well, I'm kind of judging you because that's like bad judgment, what you're doing to yourself. And I know some people's gonna be offended. Some people gonna get mad, but I only want the best for you at the end of the day. Okay, so just consider this to be constructive criticism. Okay, don't be thinking of that. I'm trying to condemn you for your choices, or I'm trying to hate on your veneers or nothing like that. Because I know some of y'all are very emotional. You're very soft, right? So yeah, just consider it to be constructive criticism. But yeah, you definitely, some is very very off about that. Very off about that. And receiving compliments, taking compliments for it, that's where it throws me off. I can understand if you post it and you know and people like it, but you taking compliments, like how That leaves me so confused. Anyway, let us focus. Let's get back to our build. Um, I think we're probably over 3 hours. 'Cause I totally forget. Well, I guess Instagram didn't cut me off tonight. I don't know what time they're gonna do it. Hopefully we can make it to 4 o'clock before get everything done. All right. So when it comes to the kidneys now, right? We talk about the adrenals. I give you everything you need for the adrenals. Okay, astragalus, rhodiola, those help the adrenals. We talk about the licorice root, but if you have high blood pressure, don't trouble the licorice root because of the cardiac um, stimulant. And the wild yam, vitamin C. I give you everything that you need. I already give you the keys. Okay, literally, you got everything you need. Coming over to the kidneys, we know that dandelion root cleanses the kidneys. We know that stinging nettle cleanses the kidneys. Stinging nettle root, not the leaf. See, the stinging nettle leaf is for cleansing the blood and giving zinc to your glands and give you iron and growing your hair. That's what the stinging nettle does. You see, remember, different parts of the plant have different uses depending on what part contains certain constituents or alkaloids or compounds. So the root of the stinging nettle is what cleanse out your kidneys, right? Then we know that cleavers cleanse out your kidneys, also move the lymph at the same time. So cleavers cleanse out the kidneys, right? Chancapedra. Chancapedra. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? I had it yesterday when I was showing it to y'all. Chancapedra cleanse out the kidneys. Did I lose it? Did I lost it? Where is it at? Chancapedra. Chancapedra. Okay, I don't know where it's at. Yo, I be moving things and not putting it back in the right places. Like I need to become more organized. I keep doing that. I keep moving something, putting it somewhere, don't put it back in the right place, and then when I'm looking for it, I can't find it. So I got some organization to do. So Chancapedra, also called stonebreaker, because it break up any gallstones in your gallbladder, any kidney stones in your kidneys. Chancapedra. Okay, good. That's an herb for the kidneys. Um, muculae cleanse the kidney, or mucal, whatever you guys want to call it. Mucal cleanse the kidneys. Now there's a variety of different herbs. Guava leaf cleanse the kidneys, but I'm not about to give you all the entire lineup because you're not going to be able to source some of it. You're not going to be able to find all of it. So you don't need all of it. Okay, we have our kidney reviver, as you can get from our website, that have the most powerful kidney cleansing herbs combined in that tea. That's pretty much all you really need, to be honest. But, yeah, I still like to give you more options and give you more information on other herbs. So that is how you cleanse your kidneys. Okay? Now, this herb here is called kidney wood, or in Spanish it's called palo azul. Now, here's the thing about this. You know what? We should actually make some tea real quick. I don't know. I don't know how long IG gonna keep me here for though. Okay. Did we hit 3 hours yet? Okay. This is called kidney wood. Okay. This has been used throughout indigenous culture from ancient time to purify and cleanse the kidneys, dissolve kidney stones, cleanse out the nephrons. This is a powerhouse. Now, whenever you boil this, okay, the water is going to get red and sometimes blue. You can boil the same thing over and over and over again. So it's on the website. So whenever you get it, notice that you're going to get a couple pieces as well, but you can boil it and boil it and boil it and boil it. A matter of fact, let's see if we can do something real quick as a demonstration, because you guys know I like to demonstrate. Okay, I do like to demonstrate. Let me see if we can do something real quick. Let us see if we can do something real quick. Damn, my water's gone. No. Okay. You know what? I thought you know what? I totally forgot that I was on YouTube live because the comment section on YouTube is just not doing it. And I can't go TikTok live because I have to have 1,000 followers on TikTok before I can go live. And that amount of people have not found me yet. I don't know how come, because I did post on IG and Facebook, but I guess they can't find me. So I cannot go live until I have over 1,000 followers. So I guess TikTok not gonna find me. Probably the next couple of days though. I think I have like 100 and something followers now. Okay. So until I get 1,000. Okay. So we have our water. Cool. Now let me see if I can make you see what it looks like. So here it is. Okay. The Palo Azul. Palo Azul. So now I want you to take notice of the water, right? And I'm only gonna use two pieces. I only need two pieces or one piece. Listen, you don't even need two pieces. One piece is enough. Okay? But I'm gonna use two pieces. That is all we need. That is all we need. So this is gonna cleanse out your kidneys. So for all of y'all who you drink a lot of liquor, you drink a lot of alcohol, okay, you have to take the responsibility to come back and clean out your kidneys because what do you think is going to happen? Remember, alcohol is not good for you unless you're using alcohol to make a tincture. It's not good for you, so hey. All right. Damn, I ain't got no water left. No water left. Hold on. So here's the thing. Because okay, so here's the thing. Because it's a bark or it's the wood, you're gonna need to boil it. Okay, now keep in mind, if you notice, we've been using the French presses to make our teas, but these are leaves. So when it comes to leaves, you just pour hot water on it, let it steep, and you're good. When it comes to the barks and the roots, you're gonna need to boil them to allow the healing compounds to be released. So when it comes to the barks or the roots, you're not gonna make that steep or just pour hot water on it and leave it. You're not gonna extract much of the medicinal property. You need a more aggressive process like boiling it. Okay? Boiling it, that's how you're gonna get everything to be released. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So that's the difference between how do you prepare a leaf, okay, and how you prepare the roots or the barks. Leaves are soft, which means that you do not need an aggressive process to get the medicine out of it. Pour hot water, that's it. When it comes to the barks or the roots, you boil it. Okay? Palo Azul or kidney wood. These are gonna purify and cleanse your kidneys. So they're on the website, you can get it. Okay, they're on the website. Just type in kidney wood, whatever, and I would actually recommend getting the kidney wood and getting the kidney reviver tea together. Those are gonna purify and cleanse out your kidneys. Okay? Yes, basically. All right. Now, So here's what the water already begin to change. Okay, look, y'all see that? Hold up. Okay, can y'all see how the water is already turning pink, or red or pink already? Okay, and sometimes it's gonna be deep red, and sometimes it can also be blue. Okay, so we're gonna see how everything looks. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's very beautiful. So all you need is just one piece, and you boil your tea from it. Boil it again, boil it again, boil it again. It's just gonna keep giving you more, more and more, and pretty much until nothing more is coming out. Then you can add in another piece. Okay? It's called kidney wood. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's move throughout this lifetime and just harmonize and support and assist each other. Okay, this whole entire reality of people, tearing each other down and competing and destroying each other is very weird. Okay, we have to realize that those people have lost their way. Think about it. Those people have lost their way because nobody benefits from that. Nobody benefits from the separation, the distortion, and the chaos. How about we just love each other, harmonize, put our energies, our minds together, and we can all have a beautiful experience here. I don't know what people are fighting for. What's the prize? So it didn't take me long after coming into the reality to realize that humanity have lost their way. And I realized that most people are being influenced by lower forces or demonic entities. Okay? It did not take me long to realize that a large portion of humanity is under the influence. Okay? Okay. So I guess we're probably around the time for the we're gonna have to end the live very soon because the battery is almost done right now. That's around the time frame before Instagram we hit Instagram limit. But I'm saying it didn't really take me long to realize that a high percentage of humanity is under demonic forces or demonic influence. You see, and if you think about it, if you start going back to history, you've seen that people have been praising or worshiping all these gods or false gods or whatever in it, giving offerings, doing sacrifice, all this kind of stuff. So you can kind of see the connection that, yeah, human beings they've been serving all these different entities for years. And these things influence people to behave a certain kind of way because that's how these entities feed off energies. Right? Yeah. YouTube, for everybody on YouTube, I was not able to really interact with you on a more frequent basis based off the fact that the comment section, this whole YouTube live thing is just kind of like off for me. I was kind of giving it a try. So I'm going to try on a MacBook Pro or something else, but the comment section is not showing. So I'm not able to see your comments or respond to your comments. So I'll have to figure out another way how to do this where we can be more interactive. So, yeah. All right. So, I'll tap in with you all another time, YouTube. All right, big up on yourself. One love. You can find me on Instagram or you can find me on TikTok. On TikTok, the Alkaline Jungle Healing Space. On IG, it's gonna be alkaline_jungle. So we'll tap in with you all again. All right. So big up on yourself and look more.